Hello, stampers and crafters. My name is Sarah Chatello McGuire from Sassy Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my Series 101. This video series is going to be several episodes long. We're going to start with Stamping 101, getting started, getting you all the basics on even what is stamping, all the way up to Embossing 101, heat embossing 101, die cutting 101, etc. So please subscribe to my channel to get and hit the little notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. And I hope that this helps build your confidence and creativity in your Stampin' Up! Experience. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Enjoy! Hello, stampers and crafters. Welcome to my 101 series. This is the first video in the series called Stamping 101, Getting Started. So the things that you're going to learn in this video is what is stamping, why make a card, and I will show you all the things you're going to need to get started stamping. So first, what is stamping? Stamping is a fun, creative outlet. You get to make pretty things, and you also get some me time. Can we say self-care? So not only are you making pretty things for others, you get to relax and make things for yourself as well. I love sitting in my craft room making cards. It's so relaxing to me. And why cards? You get to stay connected to family and friends. You make people smile. When you send a card, you're sending a smile. So I love sending birthday cards. I love sending thank you cards, thinking of you cards, all kinds of different cards. But when you first get started, when you first look at the website or the Stampin' Up! Catalog, it can be really overwhelming. So what do you need to get started? These are my recommendations. Obviously, you can pick whatever you like, but you only need 3 things to get started: stamps, ink, paper. In Stampin' Up! We call that taking a sip. SIP stands for stamps, ink, and paper. So I'm going to show you a few of the things that I recommend. So the first thing is stamps. We have 2 types of stamps. We have a cling stamp and a photopolymer stamp. This is a cling stamp set. Let me grab a photopolymer one to show you the difference. So the cling stamp sets are red rubber, and they are cling because they are sticky on one side, and these will stick to your blocks. More on blocks in a minute. That is red rubber. These are photopolymer. The thing I like about photopolymer is they're completely see-through, so you can see exactly where your image is going to be stamped. So I recommend this one. They're both good ones for beginners, but pick ones that you like and that you know you'll use. I recommend ones that not only have images but also sentiment. So I really like Artistically Inked for this. It has happy birthday, thanks, best wishes, and hello, as well as these beautiful images. And I will show you a simple card with this stamp set at the end of the video. You also need blocks. So blocks are what your stamps stick to. I use a D block the most. I actually recommend the clear block bundle. That way you have all different sizes. But if you're only going to buy one, I suggest an E block because the E block fits most of our stamps. So see, that fits right on there. It sticks, no problem. The next thing you're going to want is ink. So there are 2 types of ink. I always recommend the Memento Black because this is a tuxedo black, just a regular black ink pad. And I recommend getting at least 5 colors. Now Stampin' Up! Has these bundled savings colors. I really like the in colors. So these are the 5 colors, and these are all bundled together from the 2022 to 2024, no, 2021 to 2023 in colors right here. So we have Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, and Polished Pink. Now, if you didn't want full-size ink pads, they do offer a couple of collections, like the Brights collection and things like that. They come with ink. They are ink spots. So these are Stampin' Spots. This is an Evening Evergreen one. This came out of a Paper Pumpkin. More on that in a future video, Paper Pumpkins and kits. But this is the difference between the full size. Let me find Evening Evergreen. This is a full size ink pad and a spot. They both work just the same. There's the same ink in both of these. One's just smaller and therefore more affordable. So the next thing you need is paper. So I recommend getting the In Color packs. So these are all five in colors. Let me see if I can turn this without bumping the camera. There's all 5 colors in here for one price. So there's Evening Evergreen, Polished Pink, Soft Succulent, Fresh Freesia, and Pale Papaya. But you're also going to want some Basic White. The Basic White comes in a bigger pack of paper, and it's all white, and these are great for just stamping your images and sentiments. Now, if you don't want to spend too much or go crazy on getting paper before you really know if you like it, I recommend the note cards and envelopes. The note cards and envelopes are just basic white, and you get 2 different sizes, 10 of each size, note cards and envelopes. And I will show you a little simple card that I made. So the basic white, you can, as long as you have a couple of colors, these are not these colors, these are the new In colors, but if you have a couple of colors and some paper, you can make really pretty simple cards. The next thing I recommend is, especially if you're buying these papers, if you're going to get the In colors and the basic white, you're going to need a way to hold them together like I did here. So you're going to need adhesive. My favorite is Stamp and Seal. This is just a regular tape runner. But a lot of people, and I use this quite often, but a lot of people prefer the liquid glue. These are both pretty affordable. So you do need adhesive if you're going to put any type of layer on your card. And speaking of layers, if you're going to cut your card, if you're going to get the cardstock packs, you're going to need, this is kind of big, I can't really fit it, a paper trimmer. This has an extendable arm. It goes up to 17 inches, and this just cuts down your paper. So more on that, and it also scores too, but more on that in a future video. And then the last things are kind of extras. You don't really need them, but I like them. So these are Stampin' Dimensionals. You can see I've used a few. These just pop up your card. And then I also recommend an embellishment of some kind. So these are the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. Here I have the iridescent jewels, but it just adds a little bit of bling to your project. So this, and also if you're getting, one more thing. If you are getting the cardstock packs, you're going to also want to get a pack of envelopes. I have stamped these envelopes. These are ready to go, but you're going to want to get envelopes to send your cards. And one more thing that you actually do need is a way to clean your stamp. So this is the Simply Chamois. I have cut mine and I use it sparingly. I mostly use it for Stamparatus, which, again, future video. I really like the Stampin' Scrub though. This is the Stampin' Scrub. It has 2 sides. There's a wet side and a dry side. And all you do is you spray it with Stampin' Mist on one side, on the wet side. Then you take your stamp that has this, pretend this has ink on it, scrub it on one side, then scrub it on the dry side, and it is clean and ready to go. But you definitely need a way to clean all that ink off of your stamps. So this is all the things you need to get started. Let's make a quick card. So here I have all the things I need to make my quick card. I have my stamps, my ink, my paper. I also have my paper trimmer, some adhesives, and my clear blocks. So let's get started making a card. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to move some of this out of the way, and we are going to cut down our paper. So the standard card base here in America is 5.5 by 8.5 inches. So our paper is already 8.5 inches on the short side. It's 11 inches on the long side. So all I'm doing is cutting this in half. And this is Pale Papaya from that card pack I showed. I'm going to go up to 5.5 inches and cut. And then we score it at 4.25 inches. So we're basically turning this and scoring it in half again. So you can get 2 card bases out of 1 piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to score this one as well at 4.25. And now we have 2 card bases. We're only going to make one card though, so I'm going to set the other one aside. Now I have my basic white. This is the same size, 8.5 inches at the top by 11 inches long ways. We're going to turn it long ways, and we're going to make it a 1/4 inch smaller on all the sides. So I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. And obviously, if you're using the note cards, you don't have to do this step. But this is a little bit of a darker cardstock. You can write on the inside of this and it will look just fine. But what I like to do is, because I have this other piece here that is already 5 1/4 this way, I'm going to cut it to 4 again. And then we will have a piece for the inside as well. And then this piece is just left over for stamping, for die cutting. More on that in a future video. So now we're done cutting our paper. Let's move this out and bring back in our inks and our stamps. So I have the Artistically Inked stamp set. The first one I'm going to use is this, like, splatterly one. I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to use that. I have that on an E-block, and I think I want to make a birthday card. So I'm also going to grab the Happy Birthday. I have an H-block, but this would fit on a D-block or an E-block. I have the block bundle. And I'm also going to grab this flower and these leaves. I'm going to use the D block for my flower. And I'm going to grab a B block for my leaves. And I have the in colors here, which come in 5 if you want to buy them all together and bundle and save 10%. We're going to be using 3 of these. Well, 4. Yeah, we'll use all of them. Let's try all of them, see what happens. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to take my one piece of basic white, and our card is I'm going to fold it. And our card's going to go upright like this, and see how that gives us a nice border all the way around. So I'm going to keep that out. We're going to stamp on that. I'm going to first use the Pale Papaya. And we're going to use this big splooshy stamp here. And what I'm going to do is, you don't have to have the grid paper, but I highly recommend grid paper. If you just have a piece of copy paper or something to protect your work surface, I'm going to stamp on that. And then I'm going to stamp onto our cardstock, and see how it makes it a lot lighter. It's there, but it's very subtle. That's exactly what I wanted. So now I'm going to stamp my flower, and I'm going to use polished pink for that one. Yeah, we might just use 3 colors today. So I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm not pressing too hard. I'm just tap, tap, tap. I'm not pushing, I'm not smushing it. Lightly tapping it. And I want to turn it so it goes this way. And when I stamp down, I'm not rocking the stamp. I'm not pushing really hard, just a little bit of pressure to make sure the whole thing, and you could tap even the top of your block. Perfect. So now I'm going to go in with Soft Succulent. Now, Evening Evergreen is very pretty, but it's a little bit dark for what I'm trying to achieve here. And I'm going to get my leaves out. And I'm just, again, tap, tap, tap. Not pushing, not slamming it, just lightly tapping. I'm going to stamp off onto there. And I just put that leaf behind the flower. And now we can do our sentiment. And I think I'm going to go in with polished pink, Pale Papaya. We'll do Pale Papaya for that. So I am only using 3 of the colors. Tap, tap, tap. Down here at the bottom. Happy birthday. Perfect. So then, before I do anything else, I want to clean off my stamp. So you can use the Simply Chamois. All you need to do is get that a little bit wet, and you can run it over your stamps. I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Scrub because it's what I prefer. I'm going to take a little bit of mist, spray one side, and then rub it on the wet, then on the dry. And my stamps are clean now and ready to be used for my next project, or they're ready to be put away and stored. You do not want to leave ink on your stamps. It will dry, but you don't want to leave it on there. So then what I like to do is put away my stamps. I didn't do anything to the inside of the card though, and I think I want to. So I'm going to take, I want a smaller stamp. There's these 3 little ones here. I'm going to take those. It's the stamp here. And because our card base is Pale Papaya, I think I'm going to take the Pale Papaya ink again. And this is my piece for the inside, remember? So I'm going to open that up. Tap, tap, tap. And just right down here in the corner with those flowers. And now let me clean off this stamp and I can put my stamp set away, and then we'll be ready to put our card together. Okay, now we're ready to put our card together. What I'm going to do first is I have a bone folder. You don't have to have one of these to get started, but I really do prefer it. I'm just going to fold that card over and burnish that edge. That way it doesn't pop up on me anymore, and it's a nice, crisp, clean edge. I'm going to take some of these dimensionals. I'm going to turn over this part. I'm going to put a few, I like putting them in the corners and then one in the middle because we don't want a saggy middle. I'm using 5 of them. I'm just going to put that down onto our card base. And then for the inside, you can use the liquid glue, but I'm going to use Seal because this is my preferred adhesive. If you were using the liquid glue, you just open the cap and lightly squeeze a little bit all over. We're going to put that on our inside. And we're not done yet because I have some of those rhinestones that I showed you before. These are the Rhinestones Basic Jewels. I'm going to use the tip of my scissors. You can use a bone folder, a take your pick tool, whatever you have, but you're just going to, even your fingernails, we're just going to lift one up. I stuck it to the tip of my scissors, and I'm going to place one in the middle of that flower. You can put as many rhinestones as you want. I'm just going to put the one. I do like to work in odd numbers, so I will either do 1, 3, 5, sometimes even 7 if I really want a really blingy card. But that is it. So that is our super quick, super simple birthday card. And I hope you enjoyed the Stamping 101 series. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Also, if you would like to earn some of these supplies that I've talked about today for free, hosting a party is a fantastic way to do that. So when you host a party, you earn sales, and based on those sales, you can earn Stampin' Rewards. So there is a link in the description of this video to get your party started. They are super quick, super easy, and you can earn free stuff. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out. I will see you in the next 101 video. Thanks so much for watching.